everyone, I'm Addie, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite therapy games. So let's get to it. Okay, I think I might go in age order. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so this is my first one. This is Moody Monsters. It says for 3 to 5 years old. This is like any matching game. There's 16 pairs, so there's 16 different feelings. Let me take some out. And these are really sturdy cards, so these are great. So they have the little cute monsters on them. So what we'll do is usually we'll sit on the floor, we'll put all the matches out, and we'll play like any matching game. And once we get a match, we talk about that feeling and a circumstance. You know, tell me about a time that you felt silly. So then they'll kind of bring up a funny circumstance. How about worried, right? So we get to cover a wide range of emotions. And whenever I do these games, I usually play as well. That way I can kind of model what I want them to see and model how, you know, we talk about our feelings, and they appreciate that. And there's a lot of openness that happens. These are good for rapport building too, especially with little kids. This is a great one. I'll link them all below, the ones I can find. And this one is by Alex Little Hands. So I think I got this at Another one that's great is Rory's Story Cubes. There's a ton of different versions. This is the one I have. And there's a little pamphlet that shows you all the different ways that you can play. So there's like 3 different ways you can play. And I'll show you some of the cubes. There's like 9 cubes in there. And they each have a little bee, flower, sad face, and a question mark. So what we do is kind of roll these, put them out on the table, and then you can discuss it. There's a couple ways we'll do it. Sometimes I'll put all of them out and I'll tell a story first, and then I'll have the child do the same. Or sometimes we'll go back and forth with a story and kind of explore it that way. And just kind of like opens their brain up and helps just kind of get their imaginations flowing, because usually that's when kids heal, and that's when we kind of find out a lot of information. So, and a lot of these are great for in-home therapy. If you're traveling and you don't have a lot of space, this is really tiny, right? A lot of these are, so these are really great. And these have been really, really great for me throughout the years. These are the Bright Spots, Thoughts and Feelings cards. I actually started with the 2, and then I loved it so much I bought the second one. I think they're like $25. It's kind of pricey for cards, but I have used these time and time and time again. These are great for telehealth. They're good for rapport building. The kids really like them and they're fun. And sometimes I'll just bring them out. We can do them multiple times. If you see a kid for, over a year, you can do them more than one time. They're gonna have different answers for them. Let me show you what they're like. These are great for telehealth because, sometimes telehealth can be so limiting because of, the supplies that they have, what we have, what we can do over camera. So a couple examples, 3 things I like to do. I wish my teacher would. I am. I'm getting better at, and there's, snack. So sometimes I will play this with them. A lot of times I'll just let them do it because they don't seem to mind answering questions about themselves once they get comfortable. So if you had to start somewhere, I might recommend these because these are great for when you start with kids. These are great for in-home, great for telehealth. There's really no bad time for these. Doesn't give an age range on here. I think I've used these up until like 10 or 11 years at least. They're really great for little kids because there's pictures and you just read them. My favorites, Mad Dragon. So this says ages 6 to 12 years old. It's an anger control game. So you play it like you would Uno. There's 100 cards in here, so it's more than Uno, which is good because then you can get multiple sessions out of it usually because it brings a lot of topics. So you play it like you would Uno, and when you pick a card, you put a card down like this. You talk about the topic. Oh, there's a card going by. It's Casper, by the way. He might bark. So not all of them have, some of them are just kind of normal cards. Gets the game kind of going. And some of them are, pretty benign questions like name 2 healthy foods. And some of them are really dig a little bit deeper, talks about friendships, talks about coping skills for anger, different scenarios, different ways to kind of channel your anger. So this is a really good one. And I use this with kids too that don't have anger issues because we can all use, anger management stuff, but this is really good for kids with anger issues. Okay, now we have the Ungame. So there's a version that comes with a game board. I've never played it like that. I usually just do the cards. This is really good for telehealth as well. There's a lot of different versions. This is the kids version. I also have the family or all ages version at work. And there's just, again, multiple ways you can play this game. So there's 2 different types of cards. Some are labeled 1 and some are labeled 2. and 2. And they all take many different kinds of scenarios. So this one says, sometimes Heidi has nightmares. Say something about nightmares. There's one that the topics are probably endless on here. They give a scenario about a child and then invite the child to talk about that topic. This is one that I will also play with them and kind of model how I would give my response in an appropriate way, of course. And they seem to really like this. Again, this is another one that's really great for telehealth, because I know a lot of people are still doing telehealth. Next we have, this is a newer one for me. This is superhero strengths, building resistance, coping skills, and emotional awareness. So if your kid likes superheroes, this is really cool. This says ages 6 to 14. And it just really depends on the child. Some kids read early and it would be more appropriate. And some teenagers are too cool for games. So you just kind of have to assess and see, where they're at. So this one has, on each card is a different superhero. And I think the objective is to get one of each. And this is a good game for groups. I think it's 2 to 6 players. So if you're running groups, this is good, but I usually play one-on-one. So this card for feelings, strength, resilience. Yeah, there's a coping skills one. I can't find it. Icebreakers, coping skills. So it covers a wide variety of topics, which is really nice. And this one you can do on telehealth. It's best to kind of lay all the cards out so you can see, because a lot of kids are competitive and like that aspect. But I have done this on telehealth as well. Another option. I think I got these on Amazon. I wouldn't, if you're just starting as a therapist, I wouldn't get them all at once because it can be quite expensive if you're doing all of them. But you might be able to find them used on eBay as well. But I just wanted to share the ones that I use the most. And my last one is mixed emotions. And it says for ages 7 and up. This is a great one for teenagers. And this board is amazing. Okay, so here's the game board. And on each section, it's got different feelings. So these are like the happy feelings, sad, angry. These are kind of like confused and ones that don't really fit in the other categories. So this is great even just to kind of explore the different emotions with the kid. But it comes with these little cards and chips, and it gives a scenario at a time that we would have maybe opposing feelings, right? Maybe we might be happy and angry about a situation. So it teaches kids that it's okay to feel different ways about one situation. A lot of kids are really in conflict with that. Like, my dog was really, really, really sick and she died, and I feel kind of relieved and I feel confused about that. So we talk about how it's okay to feel sad and relieved at the same time, or it's okay to feel nervous about starting a new school and excited at the same time. So this is really great, and it gives a lot of different varieties of topics, and there's little chips. So what you do is, I'll read a card, a scenario, and I'll say, I think maybe that person might be proud, but also stressed and a little bit defiant. And then the kid will say, yeah, but also I think. So they add to it. So each time we go, we add to each other's. And then after we do a couple of rounds of that, I will ask for more personal scenarios from the child or teen. I'll say, tell me about school. How do you feel about school? Right? And sometimes they'll put it all over the place. Tell me about this family member or this friend, right? And I kind of use things that we've already discussed about to talk about different. And very rarely are they all in one. They're kind of like spread out, and they kind of say, it's okay to feel multiple things, right? It's okay to be mad at my mom at one part of the day, but also really love and care about my mom, but feel stressed out sometimes too, right? So normalizing the mixed emotion experience, I think, is really important. And I've got a lot of value from this game. So it's called Mixed Emotions and Activity Cognitive Behavioral Therapy Game. It just kind of comes in this bag, so it's nothing fancy. And this also gives you different ways. There's an instruction booklet on how you can use it. Most of the games come with some kind of instructions. Sometimes you just see how it goes, and then from there you see what, how your style is and how that game suits you and your child. And we'll change it for different kids too, so we can just work with whatever situation you got. Some of the cards we will stack. So say in this game there's a couple cards I really think are important. I'll make sure to pull them out and put them on top. But I also try to mix in more lighthearted things too. And that's kind of with all of the games. Most of the time I just let it go with the flow, but if there's something I really think that I want to make sure that they focus on, I'll kind of pull them out and put them on top. So those are my favorite therapy games. If I had to start with one, it would probably be Bright Spots. Probably get one of these. And then Mad Dragon has been really useful. This one, it's really hard to pick. And I really like Mixed Emotions too, especially for like preteens and teenagers, because that's the time when we have a lot of mixed up feelings. So I think that that is a really important game to have, especially if you your theoretical orientation is CBT, but I don't think it has to be to talk about mixed emotions and feelings. So okay, that's all I have so far. I think I'm gonna do an episode or video of non-therapy games that I turn into therapy games. I'll probably do that soon. But let me know what your favorite therapy games are. I'm always looking for new ideas and new games that people love. So leave those in the comments below. All right, thanks guys. Bye.